My name is Aarav, and for most of my life, I believed that my marriage would be arranged by my family, just like many marriages in our community. I never imagined that one simple conversation with my mother would change the direction of my life forever. It all started on a quiet Sunday evening. My mother and I were sitting on the balcony of our house. The sun was slowly setting, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink. She was drinking tea while I was scrolling through my phone after a long day at work. For months, relatives had been asking my parents about my marriage. Every family gathering felt like an interview. Someone always had a photograph of a girl they wanted me to meet. Some were daughters of family friends, some were distant relatives, and some were complete strangers. I was 28 years old, had a stable job, and according to everyone around me, it was the perfect age to get married. That evening, my mother suddenly looked at me and smiled. "Aarav," she said, "I want to ask you something." I put my phone aside. "Yes, Mom." She took a sip of tea and said something I never expected. "If there is a girl you like, tell me. You can choose your own bride. Find someone you truly want to spend your life with, and I will make sure you marry her." For a moment, I thought I had heard her wrong. She laughed. "You heard me? I don't want you to marry someone just because the family chooses her. If there is someone you love or someone you want to know better, go ahead, I trust your decision." I stared at her in surprise. My mother was not a strict person, but she was traditional hearing. Those words from her felt unreal. "Are you serious?" I asked. "Completely serious." I didn't know what to say. The truth was that there actually was someone I had known for nearly 3 years. Someone whose smile had become my favorite part of every day. Her name was Maya. Maya worked in the same company as me. She was intelligent, kind, hardworking, and unlike anyone I had ever met. We weren't dating. We weren't even very close friends. But over time, we had developed a comfortable friendship. We often worked together on projects shared, lunch breaks, and occasionally talked about life. The more I got to know her, the more I admired her. Yet I never told her how I felt. Part of me feared rejection. Another part feared my family's reaction. Now suddenly the biggest obstacle had disappeared. That night I couldn't sleep. My mother's words kept echoing in my mind. "You can choose your own bride." For the first time, the possibility seemed real. The next morning I arrived at the office earlier than usual. Maya was already there. She was sitting at her desk, focused on her laptop. As always, she greeted me with a warm smile. "Good morning, Aarav." "Good morning." I wanted to tell her everything right then. I wanted to say that I liked her. I wanted to ask if she would consider a future with me. But courage isn't something that appears instantly, so I simply sat at my desk and got to work. Days passed, then weeks. Every day I planned to talk to her. Every day I postponed it. One evening my mother noticed my hesitation. "You still haven't told me if there's someone," she said. "There is." Her eyes widened. "There is." I nodded. "Then why are you waiting?" "I'm afraid." "Of what?" "That she might say no." My mother smiled gently. "Son, rejection hurts for a while. Regret hurts for years." Her words struck me deeply. The next day I made a decision. After work I asked Maya if she wanted to have coffee. She looked surprised but agreed. We went to a small cafe near the office. For the first 15 minutes we talked about work traffic and random everyday things. Then the conversation became serious. "Maya," I said. "Yes, I need to tell you something." She looked at me carefully. My heart was beating so fast that I could hear it. "I've liked you for a long time." For a few seconds she said nothing. The silence felt endless. Then she smiled. Not an uncomfortable smile, not a polite smile, a genuine smile. "You have no idea how long I've waited to hear that." I blinked. "What She laughed. "I like you too, Aarav." I couldn't believe it. The fear I had carried for years disappeared in an instant. That evening became one of the happiest moments of my life. Over the next few months, we spent more time together. We learned about each other's dreams, fears, strengths, and weaknesses. We discussed family values, future goals, and what marriage meant to us. The more we talked, the more certain I became. She was the person I wanted beside me for the rest of my life. Finally, I told my parents everything. My mother listened quietly while smiling. When I finished, she asked only one question. "Does she make you happy?" "Yes." "Then bring her home." A week later, Maya came to meet my family. I was nervous. She was nervous too. But the moment she entered our home, my mother welcomed her warmly. They talked for hours. My father asked a few questions, but mostly he observed. At the end of the evening after Maya left, my parents called me into the living room. My father looked at me. "You chose well." I felt relief wash over me. A few days later, our families officially met. Everything seemed perfect. Then came the first challenge. Not everyone was supportive. Some relatives felt that families should choose marriage partners. Others questioned why I hadn't accepted proposals they had recommended. A few openly criticized my decision. For a while their opinions bothered me. Then one evening my father said something important. People always have opinions. They don't have to live your life, you do. That advice helped me focus on what truly mattered. Maya and I continued moving forward. As wedding preparations began, we faced another challenge. Her father suddenly became ill. The family was under stress. Hospital visits replaced wedding shopping. Celebrations were postponed. Everyone worried. For several weeks, the future felt uncertain. During that difficult time, I saw Maya's strength. She spent countless hours caring for her father. She rarely complained. She rarely rested. She simply did what needed to be done. Watching her during that period made me admire her even more. Fortunately, after treatment, her father slowly recovered. The relief felt enormous. Once things stabilized, wedding planning resumed. The months flew by. Soon our wedding day arrived. I still remember standing at the venue, surrounded by lights, flowers, and hundreds of guests. Despite all the noise, my thoughts kept returning to one simple memory. A quiet evening, a balcony, a cup of tea, and my mother's words, "If there is a girl you like, tell me." Without that conversation, none of this would have happened. When Maya entered the venue wearing a beautiful smile that outshined every decoration, around us I felt overwhelmed with gratitude. Not because life was perfect, not because every obstacle had disappeared, but because I knew I was marrying someone I had chosen with my heart. The ceremony was beautiful. Family members celebrated. Friends danced. Photographers captured countless moments. Yet my favorite memory came much later that night. After most guests had left and the excitement had settled, I found a quiet moment with my mother. She looked emotional. "So," she said with a smile, "are you happy with your choice?" I laughed. "The best choice I've ever made." She squeezed my hand. "Then I'm happy too." Years have passed since that day. Marriage hasn't been perfect. No marriage is. We've faced financial challenges, disagreements, career changes, and unexpected difficulties, but we faced them together. Every challenge strengthened our bond. Every success became more meaningful because we shared it. Sometimes people ask me how I found my wife. I tell them the truth. I found her because someone believed in me. Someone trusted me enough to let me make my own decision. That person was my mother. She didn't just help me find a bride. She helped me find a life partner. And every time I look at Maya, I silently thank my mother for giving me the freedom to choose the person I loved. Because the greatest gift a parent can give isn't control, it's trust. And sometimes, one sentence spoken with love can change an entire future. My future changed the day my mother said, "Choose the girl you like and I will help you marry her." The rest became the most beautiful chapter of my life.